Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the program. Please kindly like and share the program on your platform. Share to family and friends. Share to anyone that you need to hear from us. Help us to share, keep on sharing. Share to all platforms. Please help us to share. As you join, you invite others to join us. Invite others to join us. Please keep sending the message. Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy weekends to everyone. Happy weekend. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you for joining wherever you're joining us from. I appreciate you and I welcome you to the program. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you for connecting to the program. Like and share. Share to families and friends. Share to anyone that you know that has to hear us. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome.
Not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isodo. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra. that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. I had in Sosine Bigebi. He said,
See, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate every one of you that have connected to this very program. Wherever you are joining us from, I appreciate you and I welcome you to this very program today. And I say happy weekends to every one of you. If you are watching from Biafra land, my special thanks goes to you. If you are watching from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia, from Canada, from New Zealand, you are watching from Russia, from China, whichever part of the world you are watching this very program from, I appreciate you and I welcome you immensely and say, may Chukwu Okike Abiam guide and protect you. Once again, I wish you a very happy weekend as you are watching. Those who are in Biafra land observing the sit at home, today is a break. Today is a very wonderful break for us to refill ourselves, to strengthen ourselves, and to go about our businesses to do the needful today. I pray that Chukwu Okike Abiam will guide and protect every one of us. Those of us in Biafra land, it is a free day. Today we don't have a seat at home. It is a day that every Biafran in Biafra land today have the time to do whatever they have to do. Come out and go about your businesses, refill your homes. If there are some groceries you need to pick up, you pick them up. And every other necessary thing you have to do, today you can do that. Today being Saturday and Sunday, tomorrow is a break. We do not have any seat at home. We have this break before we enter the second phase of the stay at home, which is the last phase. In that second phase, we are going to embark on a very serious one. It's going to be the final phase of it. And already we are seeing success. And that very second phase of it is going to be more successful than we have ever seen. I appreciate every Biafran who has made this phase of it a success. I appreciate every Biafran that have participated on this very first week of it. I appreciate you and I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiam continue to guide you, protect you, and secure you. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. This is a very strong decision that we have made as Biafrans. This is a very strong step that we have taken to make sure that our voice is being heard, to make sure that we get ourselves out of the Zululand Republic. Whatever sacrifice we are making today, worth it. Whatever sacrifice we are making as Biafrans to be free, it worth it. This is about our life, about our future, about our generation unborn, and about everything about us. If we must live, if we must survive, it all depends on what we are doing today. And I appreciate every one of you. Today you have seen the event that are unfolding in West Africa, more especially. Every one of you that is watching, wherever you are watching from, you can agree with me that a lot is happening in West Africa today. Events that are unfolding on daily basis, on different areas. Things are no longer the way it used to be. No matter how you pretend not to see it, no matter how you pretend that it's not happening, no matter how you close your ears and your eyes, it will continue to stare you at your face that something is about to happen. You see, sometimes when we come around and we talk as Biafrans, we say that it is right. When we are calling the government to do the right thing, or when we say do the right thing, it will seem as if it is just about the Biafran. It is not just about the Biafran people. When we call on the government and say do the right thing, obey your own law, follow the constitution, make sure you follow a standard that favors everybody. When we say it, people think we are making noise. People think we are talking out of selfishness. People think we are talking out of pride. People think we are talking out of wickedness. People think we are talking about strife. No. We are saying what we are saying so that you can be able to have a platform where you can be able to have that opportunity to speak to people, have that authority. Then you can have that very right to speak to people. There is no way you can be talking to people about democracy when you do not know what democracy is. There is no way you can be talking to people about the rule of law when you do not know what the rule of law is. There's no way you can be talking about legality when you are living in illegality. This is a fact, that you're an undeniable fact. So when we are trying to build a nation based on legality, based on the rule of law, based on respect for humanity, based on democracy, when we try to build this nation, it is because we want to have a platform where we can stand, sit, and then advise others. There's no way you can build something on nothing. And there's no way you can be in illegality and you try to advise somebody about illegality. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It is a shame. It is a shame that the people of Africa, some people in Africa, some leaders in Africa are so shameless that they can't even cover their shame. How can you be living on illegality and you're talking about legality? How can you be living on autocracy and you're talking about democracy? How can you be living in lawlessness and you're talking about a lawful country? It is so sad. But this is what we get in Africa. This is what we get in Africa. People who have sold their soul to the enemies, people who have sold their own citizens, people who have sold the right of their own people. What you see in Africa today is what is playing out in Biafra in its own self. Look at African countries. Today, you see the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, a corrupt country, a country that doesn't know the rule of law, does not obey law, a country that is living in illegality, all of a sudden, today, is leading the ECOWAS to go and say they are restoring law and order in another country. A lawless country talking about law and order in another country. It is so sad. Shameless. Now, when you see what is happening in West Africa today, now you begin to understand why it is necessary that you must end Nigeria, because Nigeria is the home of corruption. Nigeria, finally, just imagine, even at a stage when it has become obvious, at a time when you see that redemption is coming to Africa, what do you see? You see them using that so-called criminal giant, a giant in criminality, a giant in fraud, a giant in disobedience, a giant in immorality, a giant in lawlessness. They are using that same of their Nigeria, that British contraption, that plan and that diagram drawn by British. That is what they are using today to truncate the mandate of the people. When the people are taking up their mandates, the same thing they have been doing within, the same thing the British have been doing within Nigeria, they now want to use their so-called Zoological Republic now to transfer that evil to the whole West Africa. And I bet you have just met your end. You have just met your end. I thank Chukwu Okike Abiyama for Niger Republic and other Francophone countries that are liberating themselves. Liberating themselves, it doesn't matter how they do it, either in a military way, in a civilian, however they do it, it is their business. Let them go ahead. But it is sad to wake up and see that an illegal country, a country that does not believe in law and order, a country that does not even respect the law of order, a country that just recently they installed an illegal president and the case is still in the court. A country that rigged their own election, installed a criminal, a drug baron as their own president, a certificate, someone who forged a certificate. There is nothing that is credible about the president in Nigeria now. Somebody who, as simple as his age, nobody can tell his age. You cannot tell his source of income. Somebody who have been indicted for fraud, for drugs in the US. Are you going to count one? Someone that is surrounded with everything that has to do with illegality, everything that has to do with crime, surrounded the president of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. You have seen the way he ringed himself to power, a rigged election, which even the same international communities today that are supporting him, that are pushing him to go and begin to install an another criminal in Niger. The same people that are pushing him, they are the one that came out and told us that they observed the election and the election was not credible. And surprisingly to you, have you asked yourself, how comes that the person that have conducted the election is questionable? Somebody whose case is still in the court. How come the ECOWAS did not see any other person to make a leader? ECOWAS did not see any other person, any other criminal among themselves to make a leader. They chose the greatest criminal, the current criminal, whose own case is still in the court. They chose him to make him a leader. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself, why must ECOWAS choose somebody whose election is still questionable, whose case is still in the court, whose fraud is very, very clear and open? A person with questionable character. How comes ECOWAS searched among all the presidents, they did not see anybody to choose? They chose that man. The worst among themselves, that is whom they chose. And today, you are seeing that same criminal entity called ECOWAS talking about going after Niger Republic to install another criminal like themselves. To install another criminal like themselves. You see, when I tell you that the world is operating according to interest, this is what I'm talking about. When I come online and tell you that this planet Earth you are, it is about interest. And I thank you that finally, some Africans are realizing that their interests have to come first. It's unfortunate. I'm so happy to see that African countries, more especially the Francophone countries, they have now realized that their interests have to come first. And they are taking the bull by the horn. And could you imagine that today, the people that want to lead a war against the will of people is the British Empire called Nigeria. The same thing they have been doing inside against the Biafran people. The same cage, the same way they have forced people against their will to remain in that entity called Nigeria. The British do not want to now keep their ass in that zoo. They now want to spread it out and let the world see the underneath of the fowl. You see, all this while, the Biafran people have been shouting. We have been coming online to explain the evil that the British is committing in Nigeria. We have been coming online to explain to the world the way the British have forced people against their own will to stay in a contraption called Nigeria. We have been telling the world about the destructive diversity in Nigeria, that it is not working. We have been complaining how we have been forced together against our will to remain in that entity. And nobody seems to pay attention. Today, finally, every single one that is not paying attention is now seeing the same British now transferring that evil in Nigeria to the whole world. In a contraption where the will of the people is suppressed. In a country where lawlessness is the order of the day. In a country where rigging of election is the order of the day. Criminality is the order of the day. In a country where a drug baron is their president. A country where the president is still in the court. The criminal ECOWAS of a criminal entity, criminal organization that have in the time past overthrown many governments with military. Today, they want to say they want to go on military action against the will of the people in Niger. When you see the revolution happening in Niger, there is no doubt. Nobody has to tell you that this is the will of the people. Nobody will not tell you that this, what is happening in Niger today, is the will of the people. That is what they choose for themselves. That is what the will of people choose. When you look at the videos that are coming out from Niger, you will see the support. You will see support of the masses. You will see support of the masses. Look at Niger, what is happening? You will see the support of the masses are in total support. And yet, somebody elsewhere whose own country is on fire, somebody elsewhere who has a lot of illegality in his country, is saying he wants to go and reinstate another criminal, a fellow criminal. Of course, it is not far-fetched. Every one of us know why Nigeria is going to take that as their business. You know why the Fulani Empire is going to take that Niger issue as their business? Every one of you know why. And when you see this impost that they are using, the drug baron they are using today as Tinubu, that is why I tell you, Nigeria will never ever solve. It doesn't matter who you put there. Every template they are playing is the template of the Zoological Republic, is the template of the Fulanese with the British. It doesn't matter who you make president. That person will always play the template of the British and the Fulanese. And that is what Tinubu is doing today. This is the Niger where Nigeria has been investing every money without any interest. Niger has nothing to offer to Nigeria except what? Oh my God. You see, when we talk about the issue of Niger, it has a lot to reveal the evil in Nigeria. It has a lot to reveal the evil agenda in Nigeria, the evil that the Fulanis are committing in Nigeria. When you see what is happening in Niger today, it is a revelation. And I bet you, Chukwu Okike Abiama is working wonders for the Biafran people. Everything that will stand as a hindrance to the coming of Biafra, Chukwu Okike Abiama is setting confusion in their midst. This Niger, that is where they get their foot soldiers. The Fulanis get their foot soldiers. But today, I can tell you that the real owners of the land of the Niger have taken back their country. The real owners of Niger have taken back their country. And you see the man in Daura, that invested your money in Niger, that built a railway line up to Niger. The man in Daura who built a refinery in Niger. The Fulanis who are trying to extend their empire from Niger to Nigeria. Today they are running helter-skelter. They now want to use your Nigeria. The people who are calling themselves one Nigeria, the idiots that are parading themselves one Nigeria today, Fulanis want to use them to go and fight Niger. Where people are taking back their land, taking back their country. And the Fulanis want to use you, the Nigeria, to go and fight Niger. I thank Chukwu Okike that Biafrans are gone. Biafrans are gone. We are no longer in this madness. And watch and see. The Somalia that Mazen Nandekano talked about is about to come. Do you know how many people from Nigeria are in your Zoological Republic? Do you know how many Niger people are using your passport? Do you know how many Niger people are in your... You don't know. You don't have an idea. You see them speak Hausa and you call them not. Wait until your government attack them. Then you will see. You will hear. Wait until your government do something to Niger. Then you will understand that the northern part of Nigeria is Niger completely. They have taken over. And today, the Fulanis that want to build their empire using Niger Republic and Nigeria. Finally, the owners of the land in Niger have taken back their land. And your contraption with your drug baron, who is president, is trying to go and thwart the will of the people. Let him go ahead. We are taking our country back. We are watching. And Biafran people, we are right on time. Everything that is happening today, we are so happy. I'm so happy for how fast everything is moving. When you hear our Prime Minister, Master Samuel, will tell you that Biafra is coming in 2023, I can see it. I can see how Chukwu Okike Abiama, by his own hand, is clearing the road for the coming of Biafra. Chukwu Okike Abiama is today clearing the road for the coming of Biafra. Every single thing that we stand in gap, that will stand as a hindrance to the coming of Biafra, Chukwu Okike Abiama will pull it down. Every wall, every empire, every kingdom that will stand against the coming of Biafra, Chukwu Okike Abiama is already setting confusion in their midst. You want to go? Go ahead. Go ahead. You want to fight the children of Chukwu Okike Abiama? Go ahead and fight them. When you see what is playing out in West Africa today, you will now understand the prophecy of the coming of Biafra. You will now understand what it means to say that the Biafra is the last miracle on the planet Earth. The coming of Biafra is so close and closer than you can ever imagine. And I bet you, wait for it. If you are a Biafran, when you see the things that are happening around your neighbors, you have to be at alert. Prepare yourself. We are going home. We are going home. As for these criminals who has refused to listen, you see, what the British is using Nigeria to do now in West Africa is exactly what they are using the Ohanes and Igbo, the politicians, to do in Biafra land. Want the British, want the West, the Western world, want the evil, the criminals that are putting the African countries in captivity. What they are using the contraption called Nigeria, the evil empire called Nigeria, what they are using them today to do in West Africa. What that evil they want to do, that is what they are using the politicians in Biafra land to do. The Ohanes and Igbo, the governors, that is the same thing they are doing. You know, sometimes when you are inside, when you're not really dying in a small scale, you won't understand it. You won't understand the game. Now the game is in the war stage. Maybe those who didn't understand before will now begin to understand. Maybe those who didn't understand before will now begin to understand that the will of the people cannot be suppressed. The will of the people cannot be suppressed. You are talking about democracy. Democracy, as we were told, is a game of number and the will of the people. Democracy, the government of the people, by the people and for the people. That is what democracy is all about. The government of the people, by the people and for the people. And tell me, is there the government of the people in the Zoological Republic? In all these countries today that are claiming to be a democratic country, are there any government of the people in those countries? Narrow it down to the evil empire called Nigeria. Is that government of the people in Nigeria? Is the government for the people? Is that government by the people? It is neither for the people, nor by the people, nor for the people. Never. But today, you see them using that language in code, democracy, to go and restore democracy in Niger. Were there ever democracy in Niger before? Ask these idiots, these criminals, ask them, were there ever democracy in Niger before? Now you begin to see where the evil that is holding Africa is. The evil that is holding Africa is in West Africa. When you talk of Africa, the main evil, the major evil of Africa is in West Africa. And today, you have seen them reveal. And how can you ever imagine? The most disturbing one is how an organization that claim that they promote democracy, an organization that claim that they promote the rule of law, an organization that claim that they want to maintain peace, all of a sudden they saw a president whose election is questionable, a president whose case is in the court, a president whose own life, his lifestyle is questionable, a president who you cannot be able to defend when it comes to his age, his source of income, his educational background. You cannot defend it no matter who you are. They are all questionable. And this organization woke up and made that very president a chairman. Even when the man still have his own case in the court, they made him a chairman. What are they pursuing? What are they trying to run away from? What are they trying to cover up? Now you begin to understand that what they do in that their so-called ECOWAS is to back up every evil man that comes up. They use the ECOWAS to back up every of their evil agenda. As long as you key in into the evil agenda of the empires, as soon as you key in into the evil agenda of the colonial masters, to make sure that the resources of the ordinary people continue to flow to them. As soon as you agree with them that you will keep your people under slavery for as long as they want, they will support you. Now you begin to understand why, in the midst of all the illegality, United States is still dealing with Nigeria as their close ally. In the midst of all illegality and fraud, the UK is protecting their evil empire. In the midst of illegality and fraud, France and other countries, they are visiting Nigeria. You remember last time when this idiot called Macron visited his grandfather in Nigeria? You remember when this idiot called Macron visited his grandfather in Nigeria? They were busy strengthening their criminality. And they will pretend to you, oh, democracy, we want to support democracy. We want the rule of law to... Rule of law? In what country? How can any human being that has a common sense thinking that Nigeria will be a leader of the rule of law? How can Nigeria, on what is Nigeria going to stand? On what morality is Nigeria standing What morality does Nigeria stand on to talk to Niger about law and order? To talk to Niger about democracy? Chukwu Okike Abiyama is so wonderful. Chukwu Okike Abiyama by himself is destroying the empire of the Fulanis. The empire of the Fulanis is fallen. And that is why you see, when we used to tell them, when I do my program here, I tell you, do not look only to the physical. Look beyond the physical. Look beyond the physical. Let me tell you, sometimes this war you are seeing, the way it will be fought, Biafra might get their freedom without firing a shot. You see, the ways of Chukwu Okike Abiyama is so great that you cannot understand it. You remember, I remember a story in the Bible. There was a story in the Bible when a vision was told in the Bible. A prophecy came in the Bible. I can remember that Bible story. It doesn't matter whether you're a Christian or not a Christian. I'm going to tell this story to portray my point. There was a story in the Bible where prophecy was given that it was said that food will be sold for a certain amount. That food will be sold. That it was a time of scarcity of food in Israel. A time of scarcity. There was famine, every scarcity, and a prophecy came and said that the following morning that food will be abundant everywhere. That food will be sold with a shekel. That it will be sold so cheap that everybody can afford it. That people will eat until they will not have any. And when that prophecy came, nobody believed it. People were trying to imagine, how is it going to happen? How is this going to happen? How is this food going to happen? How are they going to get such food? Some people had a disbelief. But did you know how that thing happened? Did you know how that prophecy fulfilled? It was a leper, the leprosy men that made that very prophecy to come true. The leprosy men were the people that fought that battle. In the midst of the battle, when there was no hope, prophecy came and told the children of Israel that food will be in abundance the following day. Do you know the people that Chukwu Okike Abiyama used to make sure that prophecy came to pass? Leper. They were the people that Chukwu Okike Abiyama used to fight the war. What happened? Leprosy, in those days, they tie something like bell in their leg. When they are walking, that bell will be making a sound so that anybody that hears the sound of the bell will run away from them. Because they are seen as people who are defiled. They are seen as people who are condemned. So when a leper is walking, you will hear the ringing of that bell. Just like a horse coming, you hear the ringing, the bell will be ringing. So you give way for them. So when these leprosy people were hungry in their area, they didn't have any choice. They were moving. They came in group and they were moving. They moved to the camp of the Assyrians. I think Assyrians or whatever. They were moving the camp of them. When they were going, those military men, the soldiers who had an abundance, had the sound of that noise. They heard the noise of those bells, those chains they wear on their legs making sound. And all of them took their heed. They ran away. The sound, Chukwu Okike made the sound so heavy that they saw it as a chariot of war coming. And they ran away. When they ran away, they left all the food and abundance that they had. They ran and left the abundance of food they had. And the lepers went there and ate as much as they can. And they went again, sent the message to the city. People in the city came there and got food extraordinary. They got food more than they required, more than they needed. And everybody ate and they were satisfied. The way Chukwu Okike Abiyama fought his battle is something you can't imagine. It's something you cannot. That is why I tell people, do not look, don't believe, don't just limit your mind to things you can see. As long as you are doing what you're supposed to do as a human, as long as you're fighting your own battle as a human, those directives you're giving you, follow the instructions. Sit at home as you're being told. Follow everything that you're being told by the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Every instruction that is coming from Biafran government, follow it and let the remaining be for Chukwu Okike Abiyama. The same way, take example of the wall of Jericho. The wall of Jericho fell only by marching around the wall. The children of Israel were given an order. They saw the wall of Jericho as a barrier. They became afraid. The Israelites, they become so afraid, they don't know what to do. They were helpless. They were given the instruction, march around the wall, march around it 7 times. They marched around it 7 times and blow the horn, and the wall fell. They did their own part of it, the practical part of it. Do you know how long that wall was? Do you know how many days it took them to go around the wall 7 times? That was a very tough job for them to do. That was a very tough job for them to do. That is the responsibility of human responsibility on their own side. When Chukwuokama give instruction, when you hear, just follow it. See beyond the physical. Only Chukwuokama know how he's going to fight your battle and you win it. You see the battle of the Biafran people. I am not afraid. I am not shaking. I have no doubt that we are going to have our country Biafra in 2023. How it's going to happen? I don't want to know. How it's going to come? I don't want to know. I see beyond the physical. I believe it because I know that Chukwuokama spoke. It is the word that came from Chukwuokama. That is why I believe it. And I believe it, and I believe it. I believe it strongly with all my heart. That in 2023, we are going to be free. The only responsibility we have as Biafran is to follow instructions. Listen to Biafra Republic Government in Exile. Whatever you hear from that very organization, follow it diligently, and I bet you we are going to find ourselves in freedom. Follow it diligently. All you have to do today, the responsibility that falls on your shoulder, is to make sure you follow every instruction that comes from Biafra Republic Government in Exile. Once you follow it, leave the remaining for the Chukwuokama to do. How Biafra is going to come is going to be like miracle. When you look at the progress we have made so far, within 2 years, if you see the recognition that Biafrans have gotten within 2 years, do you think it's human effort? Do you think it's ordinary? Do you think it's ordinary? Our Supreme Leader Mazen Nanikan have been on this journey for more than a decade, clearing the road, making ways, making things to happen, clearing road and sensitizing people. And the new dimension came in. The road was right. All he will do is to key into the instruction, build on the foundation laid by Mazen Nanikan. And today, in less than 2 years, or say within 2 years, tremendous progress have been made with little or nothing. How much are you donating on the fundraising? How much are you contributing on fundraising? Many of you are coming to the fundraising. How much are you contributing? Compared to the achievement that have been made. Compared to the achievement that have been made today and the defense of Biafra land, how much are you contributing on the fundraising? Is it the fundraising you come there, you hear $50, $100, $200, $300, $1,000? Is that how you raise to be able to build a country? But I tell you, things are happening miraculously. Miraculously. That is why I tell people, see beyond the physical. All you have to do today as a human being, as a Biafran, if you know how you can support the Biafra Republic in Exile, if you know how you can support our Prime Minister, support him, follow instruction. Anything you can do as a human being, humanly possible, do your own part. Do that part you know you can do. That part you know that Chukwuokama have placed in your heart to do. Willingly, on your own, without being forced. That thing that is ringing in your heart, that thing that you put in your heart, that thing that everything you remember, every time you remember, it will be pushing you. That thing that is telling you, go and donate, go to the donate, go to the Biafran website, give your own widow's mind, give your own widow's mind. Obey that simple voice. Obey that voice. Any support you know you can give that support, and let the remaining be for Chukwuokama. How Biafra is going to come. As Mazen Nanikan said, the last miracle on the planet Earth. It's going to be a miracle. Mazen Nanikan said that Biafra will come in such a way that no man will take a glory. It will come in such a way that any ear that hears it, any eye that sees it, will say it's only God. Anybody here will say it's only God. It is going to happen. Any place you are today as a Biafran, the best thing you can do for yourself today is to key in and prepare for what is coming. The stage is set for us to go home. The stage is set, ripe more than ever. The restoration of Biafra is much more ready today than ever. And if you don't know that, it means you're not human. You're not paying attention. If you don't know that it is time for Biafra to go, you are not paying attention. And whatever happens to you, you will be responsible for it. I know that more than 90% of Biafran people are very much ready, working hard to see that we get free. That is why you are seeing the support you are seeing on the seat at home. Even with all the blackmail, with all the propaganda, with all the attacks and lies and fake news, and they're bringing from left and left, with all the using the name of Mazen Nandekano to push Biafran people against Mazen Nandekano, push Mazen Nandekano against Mazen Simon, try to provoke our Prime Minister. When they do all those things, they fail. Biafran people remain focused. Biafran people continue to support the freedom. Biafran people continue to look towards the direction of freedom because they know what they want. And I tell you, I have already told people, please, if you are not on Twitter, go and follow Twitter so that you hear the breaking news when it comes. So that you'll be one of the first people to hear the good news when it's coming. Our Prime Minister is going to give us some good news. He has said it. That good news is coming, and he's going to give it on the right time. See beyond the physical. I tell you, whoever you are, wherever you are as a Biafran, see beyond the physical. If you know what you will do as a human, humanly on your own side, please do it. The restoration of Biafra falls on our shoulders. We as a human, it is we that will sponsor it. Nobody's going to sponsor it. The Biafran people will sponsor their own freedom. There is always a responsibility for the human to do. In the spiritual realm, we have been handed over to Biafra. We have fought the spiritual battle already. Biafra has been granted and signed and sealed. Biafra has been signed and sealed spiritually. But in the physical realm, we have to do our own part to make it materialize. Remember when Mazen Nandekano said that after the death of his mother and father, after the death of the parents of Mazen Nandekano, Chukwu Okikabiyama gave me a revelation and told him that the time is now. Chukwu Okikabiyama told him, go and take it. It is now yours. And when Mazen Nandekano made the covenant of that sacrifice, he never knew. He never knew. Our Supreme Leader Mazen Nandekano talked about it. That before he lost his parents, when he was telling Chukwu Okikabiyama that he is ready to give anything, he is ready to give anything in his life, even his family, for Biafra. That he's ready to sacrifice everything sacrificable, including his own life, to get Biafra. When he was making that very covenant, he didn't know. He didn't know how serious it was. But when that covenant came, a time came when his parents were taken away from him at the same time. The people that he loved so much, his father that is so close to his heart, his mother that he loved so much was taken away. He cried and lifted up his eyes. And he was told that the time is now. Your requests have been granted. Go and take Biafra. And from then and then, Mazen Nandekano began to make a strong step. He began to think deeper. He began to build the forces of Biafra. He began to build the Biafran army. He began to build the ESN. He began to make a move. He began to make a move. He began to make a move until he began to pronounce and demand for 100 men to make a march. And it was that revelation that gave him that confidence to ask of 100 men. Only 100 men. Just like the story of the Bible that we heard. Was it Gideon or who was told to take people and go and select some armies to go and fight for the Israelites? And people were selected. And I tell you, there's never a time everybody will go to the war. It is not everyone. I say it again and again. It is not mandatory that every one of us will be in the war front. It is not mandatory that every one of us will fight for Biafra. Those who cannot fight for Biafra, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. If you can travel out of the land. If you can't stand the heat. If you can't stand the heat, relocate. Don't be there and you'll be discouraging people. Don't be there out of your envy, jealousy, out of fear. Out of fear, you begin to stand against the will of the people. If you stand against the will of the people, you'll be crushed. In the present situation that we are, it is the will of the people that will stand. The will of the people. What is happening in Niger Republic today is the will of the people. You can call it coup. It is your business. You can call it coup. That is an English language. It doesn't matter how you describe it. What is happening in Niger today is the will of the people. How do you know that is the will of the people? All you need to do is to watch event as it unfolds. Watch the reaction of the masses. Watch the reaction of the masses. The support they are giving to the people who overthrew the government. And the people are there. The most of the actions are even taken by the ordinary people ordinary people are taking action against all their politicians individually. That is how you know the will of the people. So there is no sane person that we watch event that is happening in Mali, and you will say you want to go and reinstall a criminal. You want to go and fight against the will of the people. And you think you can stand against the army of the people. You can stand against common Boko Haram. Common ragtag Boko Haram. You have fought them for more than a decade. You have fought Boko Haram for 2 decades now. You are still fighting Boko Haram. You've not been able to defeat them. Now you want to engage the army of the people. Well, go ahead. Congratulations. I wish you well. But for us, the Biafran people, we are heading home. We are more than prepared and ready to go home. And we are not waiting for anybody. We are not waiting for any soul. The only thing that we have to do, that which we are doing today, is to sensitize every Biafran and make sure that everybody carried along. As we are sensitizing Biafran, if anybody on his own volition decide not to go, and we are not going to force you, of course we will not force you. If any Biafran decides that he's not going to be part of the movement, we will not force you. You have the right to make your choice, what you want to do. If you want to be a person of the zoo, you want to be a citizen of the zoo, you are free to go and nationalize in the zoo. We won't stop you. We won't stop you. But as for the Biafran people, you cannot stop the freedom of 70 million Biafrans. You can't. And the time is ripe and set. The time is more than ripe than ever. And we are going to follow it diligently until we walk into our freedom. No man born of a woman can stop that movement into our freedom. We are going to pursue it. We are going to follow it until every single soul in Biafra land is free. No amount of weapon that you throw against us that will make us back down. No amount of blackmail will make us back down. No amount of propaganda will make us back down. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. It doesn't matter what you do. We will never, ever back down. Biafra is our destination. Biafra is our dream. Biafra is our hope. Biafra is where our hope lies. And no man can change that. We have come a long way. We have come a long way. From a very far distance. We have made tremendous sacrifice. We have followed some different kinds of steps and levels to see if we can be able to make things work. But it's obvious that the people we want to deal with don't seem to understand. It is obvious that the idiots that call themselves whatever title they give themselves don't want to be reasonable. And finally, we have taken it upon ourselves to free ourselves. We have taken it upon ourselves to set ourselves free from the clutches of the enemies. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are on the planet Earth today, the only thing you can do for yourself is to think home. You know, for a very long time, I have been saying it, that the world is about interest. Put yourself first. Put yourself first. And finally, our Prime Minister have announced it and said it's Biafran first. Biafra first. Understand that you are first of all Biafra before you become anything. We don't care what religion you belong. We don't care what nationality you are. We don't care what your dialect is. We don't care what location you are. Put yourself first as a Biafra. It is Biafra first. You are first of all Biafra before you become anything you think you are. And we are going to make sure we put our interests first. The interests of Biafran people, anything that is not for our interests, we will never be part of it. And anything that stands against our interests, we will fight it to the last. Anything that stands against our interests, we are going to fight it. Today. Self-defense has been activated fully. Self-defense has been activated fully in the life of every Biafran. In the life of every Biafran. Self-defense has been fully activated, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. We are going to defend ourselves, defend our territory, defend our families, defend our brothers and sisters, defend our life, defend our properties without looking back, without apology to anybody. This we are going to do. I thank Chukwu Okike Abiama for the kind of leader he gave us today, Master Simon Ekpa, who is focused, very, very focused, pursuing the needful, very focused, on the target. What is the target? Freedom, freedom, freedom. That is what we are concerned about. It doesn't matter your propaganda, your blackmail. If you like, I say, if you like, go and bring Mazen Nanik and put him on video to begin to make a broadcast. It cannot hold water. The spirit of Biafra have possessed every Biafran. And I can tell you today, Mazen Nandekano have done a perfect job. Mazen Nandekano himself woke up the spirit of Biafra in every one of us. And today, the spirit of Biafra speaks to every one of us individually. The spirit of Biafra ministers to every one of us individually. And we don't have any doubt. We don't have any doubt. We don't have any doubt on what we do, on the direction to follow. No doubt whatsoever. The answers to every single question we are asking. The answers to every question that the people who are not paying attention, all these clowns that are paying attention, these people who are Confucianists, every question they ask, the answer is already waiting. Mazen Nande can have answered them in advance. In advance. It just takes you some few minutes to just go back and dig into the brokers of Mazen Nandekano. You will have answers to everything he's saying. All the things you are seeing today, the blackmail you are seeing today, the propaganda you are seeing today, the attack you are seeing today against our Prime Minister have been predicted, have been spoken about. Our Supreme Mazen Nandekano face the same fate. Our Supreme Mazen Nandekano face the same fate. And one of the main reasons why you must not listen to these people is that when you see the way they have now caged Mazen Nandekano, this was what they were pursuing. They have succeeded today in caging. You see, even if before maybe we can be able to listen to Mazen Nandekano, maybe try to understand certain things and now separate the chaff from the wheat. Today, there is no basis on which you will say you will listen to anything that is coming from DSS. There is no basis today, no basis at all for you to say you want to consider anything coming from the DSS. Because today, there's no single genuine person talking to Mazen Nandekano. Not even one. Every means of communication have been corrupted. What they are feeding Mazen Nandekano with today is trash. Our student Mazen Nandekano today depends on the spiritual information that you get. The only thing that Mazen Nandekano has today is spiritual revelations. Spiritual revelation, which that's why we are praying for a settled mind. That's why we are praying for peace of heart, so that he can be able to digest the information of becoming. I know that Chukwu Okike Abiama will never leave him without informations. Chukwu Okike Abiama will never leave Mazen Nandekano without revelations, strong and hard revelations. Only that will keep him. If Mazen Nandekano begin to exist in the physical, he cannot stand. If Mazen Nandekano operates only on the physical, only on the flesh, he cannot be able to comprehend what is happening. But I'm happy because the person we have as a leader is somebody who has spiritual inclinations, who is spiritually strong and connected, very, very prayerful. And I believe that every information he needs, Chukwu Okike Abiama will send angels to whisper them into his ears. Apart from that, it is going to be difficult. They have blocked every channel of information to Mazen Nandekano. I can bet you that every single thing that goes to Mazen Nandekano from these criminals are all falsehood. That is why you see the last one that came, he called himself is the wickedness in Eri. Akaji wickedness in Eri. He called it Akaji. Which of four are you holding? Or four that you have defiled by yourself? You call yourself Akaji or four. Do you know what it is to call or four? Or four is the truth. Or four is the truth. Or four is peace. Or four is life. How can you call yourself Akaji or four and you are spilling lies? How can you call yourself Akaji or four and you are sitting with evil? You are seated on the same stage with evil. How can you call yourself Akaji or four and you are promoting evil? before the whole world. How can you call yourself Akajiofo and you are lying? And you know you are lying. You saw that kind of evil happening. When you see this kind of things happening, that is why they have, that is how far these criminals can go to block every channel of information. They are bringing in everybody they can be able to capture in order to drag your senses, in order to deal with your mental toughness. They are trying to project and try to hold anything they can hold on to blackmail you. So that when they call him Akajiofo, we will now lose our senses. Yeah, because you introduce yourself as Akajiofo, we will no longer apply our senses. You are mad. You don't know what is coming. It means you don't know. You don't know that Chukwu Okabiyama is in charge. You think you are still in charge. You are not. Chukwu Okabiyama is the one in charge today. So it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter the angle you come from. It doesn't matter how you push your lies, blackmail, propaganda. Chukwu Okabiyama is the one that is in charge, and he remains in charge. You think that when you introduce yourself as Akajiofo, then we will no longer apply our common sense. When we know that you're lying. For the fact that you can sit on the same platform with a criminal, Ifanyoba, a well-known criminal that our Supreme Namazin can have exposed, and you went and connect with him. You want to convince Biafran people, and on that stage you are lying. You went, Namazin Nanakan told you that Biafrans are killing Biafrans, that Biafrans are killing children, stopping children from going to school, and you had such information, and you couldn't be able to stand against. I told Mazin Nanakan that the insecurity is not caused by the people, it is caused by the government. You were not able to relate to Mazin Nanakan the true situation on ground. You weren't able to tell Mazin Nanakan that it is the governors that have planted some different kinds of security groups. You did not tell Mazin Nanakan that Asare Dokobo and the group have claimed that they are the ones controlling the insecurity, the one that causing the insecurity in Biafra. You were not able to tell Mazin Nanakan that Asare Dokobo have already claimed and say that he is the one who is perpetrating all the evil in Biafra. You didn't tell him that Asare Dokobo have sworn to destroy Biafra land. But what you went to tell Mazin Nanakan and confirm is that it is Biafran people that are fighting for his release. People that are fighting for his release, people that are making sure that he's not forgotten. You went and told them that they are the people causing confusion because you were told to do so. You went, instead of telling them Mazin Nanakan the truth, you went and you continue to push lies to him. This is how far they come. The only thing they are trying to do today is to make sure that they push Mazin Nanakan against our Prime Minister Mazin Samaneka. They are trying to provoke Mazin Samaneka to push him against Mazin Nanakan. But I trust Mazin Samaneka. Mazin Samaneka, he's focused, and he has said it, that he cannot believe any statement coming from the DSS. Not just the DSS, any statement coming from the Zoological Republic, he will not believe it until when he sees Mazin Nanakan face to face in Finland. In a free world, then Mazin Nanakan will look him at his face and now tell him what he thinks. Whatever Mazin Nanakan says, then he will abide by it. Anything short of that, you are wasting your time. Anything short of that, you are wasting your time. And they go to the DSS. In DSS, they continue to lie to Mazin Nanakan, telling Mazin Nanakan how Mazin Samaneka is making sure he's not released. How Mazin Samaneka is disobeying him. How Mazin Samaneka has become an emperor. How Mazin Samaneka is killing Biafran people. Pushing lies. Even when they know that Mazin Samaneka has not ordered the death of anybody. Mazin Samaneka, even when he has the authority, even when he has the connection, even when he can be able to do that, he has not. Mazin Samaneka has not ordered the death of anybody. Not any Biafran. Mazin Samaneka has never ordered the death of any Biafran. Even some of them that deserve to be wiped away. He never did. In every occasion, Mazin Samaneka have always given an open door. Come back home and let us fight for our freedom. That has always been his word. Mazin Samaneka has always been calling, come back home. Come, let us face the real enemy. Mazin Samaneka every time have said that, I am not here for you. I am not here to fight you. I am focused on fighting the Zoological Republic. I am focused on fighting the enemy of Biafra. The strength I have, the connections I have, it is not to fight my brothers and sisters. It is not against you. I am focused on rescuing Biafra from the hand of the colonial master, the British and the Fulanis. He has said it time and time again. That is why he has always remained calm. Even when you have sponsored terrorists to go and take his life. Did he send people after you? He never did. Do you think he can send that people after you? Master Simon Ekpa knows every one of you that is involved in sending terrorists to him. Did he send anybody after you? He didn't. Did he pursue anybody? He didn't. He still remained calm. He still remained quiet. He maintained himself. He maintained his lane. He continued to open door for you. Repent and come back and let us fight for our freedom. Instead of you to listen, you are now gearing up to start afresh, to send another group of terrorists to him. And he came back. He didn't still fight you. He still came and gave you warning for the last time. And he told you, don't do that. If you dare, I will now show you that I have that same capacity as you do. That nobody has monopoly to violence. The same way you are sending people. Do you think that it is hard for Master Simon Ekpa to track you down? Is it not Nigeria? What security do you have in Nigeria that we cannot break? Do you think that Master Simon Ekpa do not have men on the ground that can be able to stamp you down? Every single one of you that is sending terrorists to him in Finland, even if you're in Abuja, do you think that Master Simon Ekpa don't have the capacity to send people after you? He has the capacity to bring anybody he wants to bring down in Biafra land. He has it. He has the capacity to nail anybody he wants to nail. But just like Mazen Nandekano, he's not doing that because that is not the mission. We are focused on the terrorists in uniform. We are focused on our slave masters. We are focused on those who are holding us captive. That is where we are focused. We are not pleased at the death of any Biafran. Not pleased at the death of any innocent person. What we are doing in Biafran land today is defending our land, protecting our people to make sure that they are not destroyed by the terrorists. And you think that is the wrong thing to do? You think it's the wrong thing to do? Wait for it. We are not taking your permission. We don't need your approval for us to be free. We don't need any approval from anybody to defend ourselves. We do not need, you don't need any approval for us to ask for self-determination. In 2023, Biafra is going to come. And Biafran people know that, and they believe it. I appreciate every Biafran, wherever you are watching this program from. I appreciate you. And I appreciate every Biafran that participated on this very first phase of the sit at home. May Chukwu Okekabiyama continue to guide and protect you. May Chukwu Okekabiyama continue to strengthen you. May Chukwu Okekabiyama continue to provide for you. Today is a break. We're having break today, being Saturday. There's no sit at home today. There's no sit at home tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday is a break, and we are going to resume on Monday. So wherever you are, if there are things you can do, do. If there are your neighbors you can support, this is the time for you to support your neighbor. Look around you, look at your neighbors, those you can support. Help and support them. Look at your neighbor, look right and left and center. Anybody you know you can support around you, please, please and please. On Ruben Naban also. On Ruben Naban also. On Ruben Naban also. That was how we survived in 1967. We are heading to that direction again. Please, let us activate that on Ruben Naban also. It is a very strong weapon. It is because of that that we are today in charge of the economy in that Republic. And we have to activate it. Let us support each other. And victory definitely will be ours. I appreciate everyone that is watching this program. Those that have joined me from any angle, I say, may Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect you. Every Biafran all over the world, more especially in Biafran land, may Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect you. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect everyone that is genuinely seeking for freedom. Anyone that is asking for freedom, it doesn't matter your tribe, it doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter your creed, it doesn't matter who you believe or who you trust, and you are genuinely seeking for freedom, you will see freedom in your lifetime. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect the ESN. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect the BNL. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect the Liberation Army. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect all our media warriors that are speaking on daily basis, making things to happen. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect them. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect the Umuada. Every member of the Umwada, their leader, the defense minister, may Chukwu come and protect her, give her wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. May Chukwu come and protect every member of the Biafra Republic Cabinet Biafra Republic Government in exile, every member of the cabinet. May Chukwu come and protect every member of the cabinet. Strengthen them, give them wisdom, knowledge, understanding to continue to stand strong until we get to our freedom. May Chukwu come and protect our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Wherever Mazi Simon Ekpa is at this minute, we cover him with the presence of Chukwu Kabiama. We decree that the grace of Chukwu Kabiama will continue to guide him, protect him, secure him in his going out and coming in. He will never dash his foot against the stone. Every hole they have dug against Mazi Simon Ekpa, they will be buried in that hole. May Chukwu Kabiama continue to strengthen him, give him 1,000 men wisdom, increase his mental toughness. We are in a time where difficult decisions will be taken. May Chukwu Kabiama give him that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to take the right decision and on time. May Chukwu Kabiama be with him, guide him, protect him and his children, him and his family. May Chukwu Kabiama be with him. Wherever he steps his foot, the angels of Chukwu Kabiama will guide and protect him. We commit our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before Chukwu Kabiama for divine protection, for divine healing, for divine safety, for divine grace, for divine revelation, wherever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is. We pray that Chukwu Kabiama will continue to be with him, guide him, protect him, continue to hold him high. No evil shall befall him. No evil shall befall him. No evil shall befall our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I thank you so much for being on the program today. No weapon formed or fashioned against the Biafran people shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against the Biafran people shall prosper. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being with me. Please, if you have time, join me in the evening. I am going to be broadcasting again in the evening. Join me in King David Exploit Expose. Join me there. I will be broadcasting there also. I'm doing the needful. Thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed. I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.